Good evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Tamiru Nimsap and we at our television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. IMF staff visit concludes with positive outlook for Sri Lanka's economy. Global SME Summit, Sri Lanka backs school for inclusive trade and green competitiveness. IMF forecasts 4.1% growth for emerging economies amid easing trade tensions. News in detail. The International Monetary Fund has praised the Sri Lankan government for progress in implementing economic reforms under its Extended Fund Facility Program. The comments were issued following the conclusion of an official visit by an IMF staff team which took place in Colombo recently. The IMF stated that Sri Lanka's economic recovery is gathering pace, with growth outperforming expectations, inflation moving towards target, foreign reserves increasing, and tax revenues improving. The mission emphasized the need to sustain reforms to strengthen fiscal and external buffers, improve tax policy and public financial management, and complete debt restructuring talks to restore investor confidence. The IMF also urged prudent monetary policy, faster operationalization of the public debt office, and stronger governance reforms to boost transparency and resilience. The fifth review of the IMF program will formally assess compliance and guide the next phase of support for Sri Lanka's economic stabilization. The IMF has raised its 2025 economic growth forecast for emerging and developing economies to 4.1%, up from its early estimate of 3.7%. The biggest driver of this prediction is stronger than the expected performance from China and easing trade tensions, according to a report by Reuters recently.
China saw the largest upgrade with projected growth now at 4.8%, significantly higher than April's 4.0% forecast. The IMF attributes the revision to stronger activity in the first half of the year and a major reduction in US-China tariffs. The updated forecast assumes a lower US effective tariff rate 17.3% compared to the 24.4% used previously. Still, the IMF warns that global trade landscape remains fragile, with the baseline forecasts depend on current tariff poses holding, and those are far from guaranteed. Beijing faces an August 12 deadline to finalize a lasting tariff agreement with Washington after reaching only preliminary deals earlier this year. Meanwhile, many nations are bracing for a new round of tariffs set to kick in later this week. Elsewhere, Russia and South Korea were the only major economies to receive downgrades. Russia's 2025 GDP outlook dropped from 1.5% to just 0.9%, while South Korea's was cut from 1.0% to 0.8%. Overall, the IMF's global GDP growth forecast now stands at 3.0% for 2025, with a slight bump to 3.1% in 2026, but still short of January projections.
Sri Lanka took part in two major global platforms focused on empowering small businesses through policy and trade. Export Development Board Chairman Mangala Vijayasinghe represented the country at the Global SME Ministerial Meeting and the Trade Promotions Organization's Leadership Dialogue held recently in Johannesburg, South Africa. The events were organized by the International Trade Center and the Government of South Africa, bringing together ministers, policymakers and trade leaders to strengthen the role of SMEs in global economies. The dialogue by the trade promotions organizations focused on engaging small business leaders in national policymaking and sharing successful trade models. The ministerial meeting resulted in a unified call to action emphasizing three areas: access to finance, digital transformation, and green competitiveness, all crucial for aligning SME growth with sustainable development goals. The declaration also proposed a biennial ministerial meeting to monitor progress and foster long-term global cooperation. Sri Lanka's active role highlights its commitment to boosting SME resilience and global trade access. A new professional training program was launched to equip government officers with the skills to support small enterprises. The initiative certifies them as relationship officers and lays the path to become business consultants. It was launched by the Ministry of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, the Small Enterprise Development Division, and the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. The event took place recently at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute, Colombo.
මේ වසරේ ඇයි මේක සුවිශේෂී වෙන්නේ එහෙමනම් මේක අපි මොඩියුල් එකක් විදිහට වඩාත් ගැලපෙන විදිහට විශේෂයෙන්ම ස්මෝල් සහ මීඩියම් ස්කේල් කියන පිරිසට ගැලපෙන විදිහට අපි මේ වැඩසටහන පෙළගස්සලා තියෙනවා. එයාලගේ ටයිම් එකට, එයාලගේ අවශ්‍යතාවයට අපිත් එක්ක ජොයින් වෙලා මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකට එන්න පුළුවන් වෙන විදිහට. මෙතෙන්දි මූලිකවම වෙන්නේ දැනට සංවර්ධන නිලධාරීන් විදිහට ඔබලා කරන කාර්යභාරය රිලේෂන්ෂිප් ඔෆිසර් විදිහට ඔබලාගේ කාර්යභාරය වෙනස් වීමක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. මොකද මෙච්චර කල් ඔයාලා ගොඩාක් කරේ ලයිව්ලිහුඩ් පැත්ත සංවර්ධනය සඳහා දායක වෙච්ච එක. ඒක හොඳයි. දැන් ලයිව්ලිහුඩ් මට්ටමේ යම්කිසි තැනකට ගෙනාපු ව්‍යවසායකයන් විශාල පිරිසක් ඉන්නවා. ස්මෝල් සහ මීඩියම් ස්කේල් වලට යන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙමනම් අර බිම් මට්ටමේ ඔබ මෙතෙක් දුන්නු සහායට වඩා වැඩි සහායක් මේ කියන ස්මෝල් සහ මීඩියම් කැටගරි එකට ඔබලා අතින් සිදුවිය යුතුයි.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya unveiled a bold new vision, including the new Kingdom of Kotte Tourism Trail and the formation of the Kotte Green Tourism Network. This initiative was launched as the Kingdom of Kotte Tourism Initiative at Voters' Edge in Battaramulla recently.
The Prime Minister highlighted Kotte's unique status not only as a capital with deep historical roots but also as the world's first wetland capital, rich in biodiversity and home to rare urban ecosystems. The project, supported by the Western Province Tourism Board and spearheaded by State Minister Chaturanga Abesinghe, aims to turn Kotte into a cultural and ecological attraction.
A really significant initiative for many reasons that marks the beginning of a new chapter for Sri Lanka. The project is more than just a tourism trail. It is a journey through history, nature and heritage. It is an opportunity to reintroduce our capital city not only as the administrative heart of Sri Lanka, but also as a place of remarkable historical depth, cultural richness and ecological value.
On the sideline of the event, the book Whispers of Voters' Edge was officially handed over to the Prime Minister by co-author Ishanda Seniviratne. The book is written in parallel to the Kingdom of Kotte project, which includes the natural beauty, tourism attraction in the region, aiming to promote sustainable tourism.
Kingdom of Kotte සංචාරක ප්‍රවර්ධන වැඩසටහනට සමගාමීව වෝඩසෙජ් ආයතනය විසින් මේ කෝට්ටේ පුරවරයේ තියෙන සංචාරක ආකර්ෂණය, ඒ වගේම පරිසරයේ තියෙන සුන්දරත්වය, ඒ වගේම අපි තිරසාර සංචාරක ව්‍යාපාරයේ කොයි ආකාරයෙන්ද ප්‍රවර්ධනය කළ යුත්තේ ඒ කියන කාරණා ඇතුළත් කරලා ග්‍රන්ථයක් අපි සකස් කරා. මේ ග්‍රන්ථය අද දොරට වැදීම සිද්ධ කරේ Kingdom of Kotte සංචාරක ප්‍රවර්ධන වැඩසටහනට අනුබද්ධවයි.
The 7th meeting of the International Solar Alliance Regional Committee for Asia and the Pacific concluded in Colombo, reaffirming the organization's role as a powerful convener for clean energy cooperation and spotlighting Sri Lanka's leadership in the solar transition. The high-level opening was led by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, who delivered the inaugural address calling for deeper regional collaboration, inclusive access to technology and focused support for small item developing states and lower middle income countries.
Each country deserves to have its own institutional capability for drawing what's best for them and in their context. So we have centers of excellence called STAR-C, Solar Technology Application Resource Centers, in 17 countries. They will now be connected with the state-of-the-art digital experience and all the expertise through a global capability center. We also discussed about country partnership frameworks. We were delighted to sign the country partnership framework between ISA and Sri Lanka, but also with Solomon Islands, Fiji, and Kiribati, so that over the 3 to 5 year, we can work with each of these countries on realizing their solar goals. One of the most important considerations was that for the first time, we declared an intent to create a platform for SIDS called Small Island Developing States, where each of the small island states will work together with various financiers, World Bank, ADB, International Solar Alliance, and all partners in coming towards an aggregation of demand and doing digital tendering to get the least possible price for solar power in a much faster way over the next 1 or 2 years.
Director General of the International Solar Alliance, Ashish Khanna, further explains of the agreement which outlines a strategic roadmap for accelerating solar deployment, financing and institutional capacity in Sri Lanka. He also added that as the organization is moving from ambition to action, this regional committee meeting offers a timely and strategic platform to define a practical, action-oriented agenda on 4 major pillars.
If you have your own battery storage, and this is a little bit of a futuristic thing, if I may say, but it is possible 10-15 years from now, each consumer who has a solar rooftop and a battery will not only be a consumer, but a producer as well. And you, like your apps today on trading, will be able to sell that electricity to multiple consumers. It is envisaged that the sector may move in that direction. There was a question on digital tendering. Now, this is something which is now being used by countries that have grown big. Like, for example, India, which has done from 0 to 110 gigawatt of solar. India is now world's 3rd largest solar market. It was all done by standardizing the template of contracts so that you don't need to replicate it. And you have a digital tendering system in which whoever is a private sector wanting to be part of it gives a electronic submission, which later on evolved into an auction mechanism where you can continue to reduce the price without knowing who else is bidding in order to get the least possible price for the utility and the consumer.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The annual general meeting of the Global Federation of Sri Lankan Business Councils commenced recently under the theme Uniting Global Sri Lankan Businesses Moving Forward. President Anurukumara Dissanayake attended the inaugural session of the 2-day event held in Colombo recently. The annual meeting of the Global Federation of Sri Lankan Business Councils brings together entrepreneurs and business leaders from 15 countries, including the United States, United Kingdom, Japan, Australia, Canada, and India, to explore new trade and investment opportunities. President Dissanayake presented symbolic appreciation awards to international council representatives and stressed the importance of leveraging the global Sri Lankan business network to strengthen the economy. Discussions during the summit are focused on expanding international trade links, attracting new investments, and encouraging active participation of Sri Lankan entrepreneurs worldwide. The event was also attended by Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath, ambassadors, and senior members of the council. The government has introduced a new digital option for paying spot traffic fines through the GovPay online platform. The move aims to improve transparency, reduce delays, and streamline public service delivery. The service was launched recently in Colombo.
The initiative, implemented jointly by the Information and Communication Technology Agency, the Police, the Motor Traffic Department, allows motorists to pay fines online without visiting police stations or banks. Users can access govpay.lk to make payments using NIC and fine numbers. The pilot phase covers the Western Province and the Southern Expressway and will expand island-wide.
සාමාන්‍ය මට්ටමේ මාර්ග වැරදි කරන රියදුරන් අදාළව එම ස්ථානයේදීම තමන්ගේ දඩය ගෙවලා යන්න අවශ්‍ය කරන ඒ තාක්ෂණික පහසුකම් ලබා දීමේ වැඩසටහන එකක් විදියට එනු අද දිනේදී බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා බස්නාහිර පළාතේ රථවාහන පොලිසියේ පොලිස් නිලධාරි මහතුරු දහසකට දුරකථන ලබා දෙන්න. එතකොට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙනවා ලංකාවේ බස්නාහිර පළාත තුල මාර්ග වැරද්දක් කළොත් ඒ වැරද්දේ ප්‍රමාණයට අනුව ඒ වගේම අධිවේගී මාර්ගات ඇතුළත් වෙනවා. අධිවේගී මාර්ග සහ බස්නාහිර පළාත තුල කරන වැරදි වලට එවෙලෙම දඩය ගෙවලා ජංගම දුරකථන මාර්ගයෙන් අපේ රටේ රියදුරු මහතුරුන්ට පුළුවන් තමන්ගේ දඩය ගෙවන්න.
Health and Mass Media Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa signed the declaration of Angkor Initiative 2.0 during the closing ceremony of the 20th Asia Media Summit in Siem Reap, Cambodia. The declaration aimed at combating disinformation and strengthening information integrity was signed at the summit recently. The 20th Asia Media Summit, organized by the Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development and hosted by Cambodia, brought together over 200 delegates, including ministers, media leaders, and industry professionals from across the region. Dr. Jayatissa participated in a series of bilateral meetings, engaging with the Cambodian Information Minister, Maldives President's Office officials, and representatives of international telecommunications organizations. The Angkor Initiative 2.0 framework is designed to promote collaboration among member states to counter disinformation, advance media standards, and support professional development of media practitioners. The summit concluded with the announcement that the Maldives will host the 21st Asia Media Summit in 2026. With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.